My name's Parmpal Singh. For 20 years, I ran the cargo floor at Toronto Pearson. People knew me, trusted me, maybe even liked me. I wore the safety vest, punched the clock, raised a family. I did everything right. Thought that would be enough. But the world doesn't care if you're good or bad. It just moves, and if you're not careful, it crushes you. For me, it started with cards. Blackjack. Quick, clean, no bullshit. Hit 21 and it's like electricity in your veins. The first few wins, pure thrill. But the house always wins. Always. Before I knew it, I was chasing. Savings gone, line of credit gone, and the guys you don't want to meet at night sending messages. Broken thumbs, bruises, subtle threats. You get the picture. That's when I started noticing the gold shipments. Working cargo, you see everything. Electronics from Hong Kong, luxury cars from Germany, pharmaceuticals from the States. Mostly boring. But every so often, something special came through. Gold. Real gold. The kind that legends are whispered about in break rooms. Zurich runs. Millions in bars, coins, even foreign currency, tucked into regular containers, loaded onto trucks like it was any other delivery. And I knew the system. Guards rotated, paperwork got skimmed, people trusted documents over their eyes. If someone had the guts, they could walk that gold right out of Pearson without firing a shot. Practically Fort Knox, just sitting there for the taking. For weeks, I thought about it. At first, it was fantasy. Then it started to feel possible. Then, one night, with my heart pounding and debts crushing me, I realized it wasn't fantasy anymore. It was a plan. The first person I told was Durante, better known as Slick. He was nothing like me, young, sharp, all fire and ambition. I was middle-aged, paunchy, worn out from double shifts and sleepless nights. But Slick had a way of looking at you that made you feel like you were already part of his movie. We met in a greasy spoon on Dixon Road, a few miles from the airport fence. The place smelled of old coffee and regret, vinyl booths cracked from 100 lost breakfasts. Slick didn't need me to say a word. Zurich shipment, right? He said, a barely there grin on his face. The one with the golden ticket inside. I nodded, heart hammering. 400 kilos. Gold from Zurich. Comes in quiet, processed through our facility before armored trucks pick it up. Almost routine at this point. Slick whistled low, eyes widening. Jesus Christ. That's what? 20 mil? 30? Closer to 100 depending on the market, I muttered. He leaned back, folding his arms like he owned the place. And you're telling me this because I need someone I can trust, I said. Someone who can handle the heat, Slick smirked, tipping his head. Trust. You've come to the right guy. But remember, once we start, there's no going back. Not for you, not for me, I nodded. I already knew he was right. Once the line was crossed, everything changed. The stakes, the adrenaline, the paranoia, it all became real. Slick wasn't just a hustler, he was a dreamer. He'd been moving stolen cars, fake IDs, then guns. Guns were his thing now. But what he really loved was the idea of being a gangster. Not a thief. A gangster. The kind you saw in the movies. And here I was, handing him the script. You're not bullshitting me, Parm? He asked, lowering his fork. I know the schedules. I know the paperwork. If someone had the balls, it could be done. Smooth. Clean. He leaned in, grin sharp as a knife. So let's do it. I froze, coffee halfway to my lips. I'd expected him to laugh, maybe tell me I was crazy. But he was dead serious. We'd need a crew, I said quietly. Don't worry, I got guys. And just like that, it was done. A line crossed. No going back. The first time I met the crew, I felt like I was in way over my head. There was Eddie, the driver. Durante claimed he was a stunt driver for a movie. Which one? I asked. Some piece of shit movie, he said. My instinct told me it was all lies, designed to make him look special. Quiet guy, built like a brick wall, eyes dead as winter ice. He didn't talk much, but when he did, people listened. Durante swore by him. Said he could drive anything with wheels and never lose his cool under pressure. Then there was Yuri, the jeweler. I'd seen him around Little Italy before, always in sharp suits, a pinky ring glinting, looking like a Goomba. He ran a small jewelry shop as a front, but everyone knew his real business was laundering gold. Durante introduced us in the back of his shop, where the hum of a furnace filled the air. "This is Parm," Durante said. "He's the brains." Yuri gave me a long look, then smiled thinly. "Brains are good, but gold is better." We sat around a small table in Yuri's back room. Durante laid out what I'd told him, the Zurich shipment, the schedules, the forged paperwork. "It's a cakewalk," he said, slapping the table. "Parm's got it down to a science." We walk in, show the papers, load the truck, walk out. No guns, no alarms. Yuri lit a cigarette, exhaling slowly. "Cakewalk my ass, but..." He smiled again. "Gold has a way of making men believe in miracles." He just nodded once, arms crossed, a small smile on his face. I sat there, heart pounding, wondering what the hell I'd gotten myself into. Weeks of planning flew by. Twice a week, we'd huddle in Yuri's back room, poring over maps, paperwork, truck routes. Durante jabbered on about money and fast cars, while I ran the heist in my head, spotting every weak link. Eddie said nothing, just watched, cold eyes taking it all in. Yuri leaned back, cigarette glowing. "Real danger? Not cops. Not guards. Greed. Flashy spending. Attention gets you caught." Durante snorted. "Relax, we're ghosts, Parm." I didn't laugh. These guys, nut jobs, really thought they were Tommy, Burke, and Henry Hill from Goodfellas. For the first time, I started to sweat. What they didn't understand, we were stealing gold bars that didn't sink in. The night of the job, Toronto was frozen solid. Snow crusted on Airport Road, breath hanging in the air like ghosts. Cold keeps people indoors. Cold makes guards lazy. I stood on the observation deck, heart hammering, watching the Zurich container slide off the plane. Workers laughed, forklifts beeped, oblivious to the $100 million in front of them. Eddie pulled up in a white cube van, fake logistics decals on the side. Durante hopped out, ball cap low, grinning like a kid on Christmas morning. The paperwork passed inspection. No alarms. No suspicion. I watched, holding my breath as forklifts slid the container into the van. 20 minutes later, it rolled away into the night. We had done it. But there's a strange quiet after a heist. No fireworks. No cheers. Just silence. One moment, the gold is there. The next, it's gone. And the world keeps moving, oblivious. Yuri's basement became our vault. Bars stacked neatly, furnace glowing dimly, gold heavy and cold. Durante slapped one, laughing. Smooth as silk, I didn't answer. I couldn't. Knew his type. He'd get careless. Show off. And that's when trouble would find us. The first thing we talked about was the first thing Durante did. Started spending. Sleek black cars, fancy dinners, little luxuries at first, then bigger. Every flash of cash made my stomach twist. You're being stupid, I said. This is going to come crashing down on us because of your punk-ass greed. He waved me off. Relax, Parm. Nobody even knows we exist. Weeks later, Durante got arrested on gun charges in the U.S. The police found documents linking him to the gold. Yuri tried moving some of it, but it was sloppy, desperate. He got caught. Eddie vanished like a shadow. And finally, they came for me. No chase. No shouting. Just a knock, a badge flashed, and the words, "You're under arrest." So much for being ghosts. Some of the gold was recovered. Most of it vanished into the shadows, like smoke slipping through your fingers. The crew got caught. As for me, I took my share of consequences. Prison walls became my constant companion, months stretching into years, each day a reminder of choices I couldn't uncross. Yet even behind bars, I replayed that night over and over, the thrill, the fear, the gold, and the bitter taste of knowing that life always collects its debt, no matter how slick or careful you think you are. My family, they paid a different kind of price. My wife tried to hold it together, but the stress, the secrecy, and the shame wore her down. Our children grew up in a shadow of fear and whispers, learning early that life could change in a heartbeat. Letters and brief visits were all I had, and each one reminded me that my mistakes weren't mine alone. They echoed through the lives I loved most. When I was released, our bond was fractured, rebuilt slowly and cautiously, one fragile step at a time. Durante, the first to be caught with his flashy self. He spent years behind bars, learning the hard way that no dream built on greed lasts. Eddie, silent and careful, vanished without a trace. Maybe he slipped out of the country. Maybe he's still hiding in plain sight. Yuri, the man who polished the gold for others, got tangled in his own schemes and eventually faced the law, paying for his role in the heist. And me? I sit here now, reflecting on the choices I made, the lines I crossed, and the illusions of control we all believe we have. Life collects its debt one way or another. Always. In the end, you never see the people who live in the shadows, or if you do, you don't know their names. They exist somewhere between the headlines and the forgotten, between crime and consequence. And that's where the story really lives.